J-Bone back here for Smash This Podcast. FloSlam just put out a documentary on their site. It's called All Access More Than Mania, and I watched it, and it's almost 20 minutes long. It's a nice little documentary. I tell you, man, this site, FloSlam, is, the wrestling itself, the variety of wrestling on it is tremendous. But what I'm going to talk about, hi Rocky, they just know when I'm on here. Kenny Johnson puts together these documentaries. Some of them small, some of them feature current rivalries and stuff going on. Where are you going? Don't mess with my cords, Rocky. I'll kick your butt. Sorry. He does all sorts of stuff for the FloSlam brand, Evolve, Cats Dumping by Garbage.
Would you get out of there? Oh, I swear to God, every time I'm trying to do something.
Where was I? Kenny Johnson. The things he puts together for FloSlam and Evolve and everything, they're just great. They're just it just adds something really special to all these brands, and I hope that they use him for more than just Evolve. Like this documentary, for example, it covered the whole More Than Mania weekend, and just a little, just featured stuff from each day, and I'm just going to go over some of the highlights from this.
You are killing me, Cat. Would you get out of there?
Alright, so they start talking about, they go a little bit over day 2, day 3, and then day 4. Day 2 featuring stuff from Evolve and Kaiju Big Battle. And I didn't watch everything from More Than Mania weekend. If I did, my head probably would have exploded. And I've joked about that recently. They had so many things going on that weekend.
Get out of here, Cat. Come on, get out of here. Frick. Oh my God, my cats. Gotta love them.
This documentary shows what stars, in my opinion, were made that weekend. One of the big stars that was made that weekend, because he was on so many different shows, not just Evolve, but he was all over the place. Keithley. Keithley is quickly becoming one of my favorites to watch on the FloSlam brands. He's featured in the Evolve shows, the WWN Super Show. Oh God, what else? He was also featured on the Matt Hardy Tailgate Party, which featured a couple different wrestling shows. There was an ACW show and an FIP. What am I missing? Oh, he was also part of Joey Janela's Spring Break. Keithley was all over the place and had so many good matches with so many different kinds of wrestlers, which just shows how good he is. He had, the first one they showed clips was from his match with Ricochet. And Ricochet is a guy who is not featured much anymore, but he certainly is all over the place in the independent scene. A guy who I consider a top prospect for any brand looking for someone new and hot to hire. Unfortunately, he's under contract still. Well, not under contract, but his contract states from his Lucha Underground that he can't do anything until the end of season 3, which means he can only show up certain places, and so if he's going to do anything big, it's not going to be until later this fall or early next year, unfortunately. But he's still busy and all over the place. But this was one of the gems from More Than Mania weekend, is my point of all this. Keithley versus Ricochet was great. Someone else who shined that weekend was ACH. His match with Timothy Thatcher, which they showed clips from, incredible. And one of my favorite rivalries, which ended at this past Evolve weekend. But Evolve 80 featured that that hardcore match between Ethan Page and Darby Allin. That was just ridiculous. So much fun. And, unfortunately, like I've said recently, we're not going to see Darby Allin for quite a while because of his injuries from his recent battle with Ethan Page. But just another highlight that they showed stuff from. Day 3. Oh no! Before I get into day 3, one of the late night. That's one of the things that they featured was these late night shows. There were so many shows over the course of the weekend. They said there was like over 100 shows all over Orlando surrounding WrestleMania. That's crazy. Excuse me. That's crazy. That's so much wrestling. You can't possibly see everything. You have to pick and choose who's featuring what, but just wow. And I thought I watched a lot of wrestling on FloSlam and everything involved with WWE that weekend. Holy crap. That's just nuts. The late night show featured from day 2 the Kaiju Big Battle. And it showed clips and highlights from that, which looks just like an absolute crap ton of Wrestle Silly. I did not watch that, which seeing clips from that in this documentary makes me want to go watch it now. It looks like it's one of those things where I'm going to crack open a couple of beers, kick back, have some laughs, and watch some great wrestling, but also a lot of Wrestle Silly, because it's all these monsters in a ring, the little buildings all over the place, which basically makes it look like a classic Godzilla movie. The fact that there was, what the heck was that clip? And I don't know any of these characters, but the giant Peapod character standing on one of the top ropes doing a suck it sign. I was like, what the hell is that? That's just. Oh man, I gotta watch it. That just looks funny as hell. And it's not for everyone. But that's the great thing about that weekend, is there were so many different things, and it was a little something for everyone. If you're just a die-hard wrestling fan, you're gonna watch Evolve. If you want to watch something a little more hardcore, maybe you watch FIP. In women's wrestling, there was plenty of that. That was featured more on the WWN network, though. I don't know if Shine had a show. Shine had some matches, but I don't know if they had a whole show. Shine and what else? What else did they feature? Shimmer. And I always screw up which one's on FloSlam. They also have a show that's coming up soon. I think this weekend. I might catch that one. We'll see. That's still a brand that's growing on me. I haven't watched a complete show yet since I got FloSlam. But they do have a lot of great women talent on there. And I'm starting to recognize them. I'm starting to learn about them. So I might actually review one of those shows soon. We'll have to see. Day 3 on this documentary, featuring the WWN Super Show. One of the great matches, ACH versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne being Progress's champion. I believe that's what that was. And one of my other reviews kept calling Pete Dunne Pete Dune, and I just want to apologize for that. It's learning names, and people wrestling from other countries, and it's mistakes you made. But yeah, Pete Dunne, who also is featured now on NXT. So, but yeah, that was certainly one of the highlights from that weekend. The elimination match with Riddle winning that one for the WWN Championship. The first time that championship was featured, and that championship representing all the brands of FloSlam. So he's gonna defend that on Evolve, FIP, ACW, everything. Which just that in itself almost makes it feel kind of like an NWA product, kind of like one champion going to all these different territories, kind of, in a sort of way. So it brings a bit of a classic feel to that. And that's one thing that I did not watch the whole thing of yet either. It was the WWN Super Show. I missed a few things from that. But definitely, something for everyone on that one. That also featured some great women wrestling. Lufisto, oh man, I can't remember who she fought. She fought someone, but that was a great women's match. Tremendous women's wrestling. And then the late night show from that day, Joey Janela's Spring Break. That battle royal was just goofy. Featured a lot of great spots, a lot of great wrestling, but also a ton of goofy. Holy cow. The Invisible Man, just these guys in the ring with Mr. Invisible or whatever. Just that made me laugh out loud when I was watching that. That is what I caught. Leo Rush versus Keithley, another very special match from that event. Just shows again how good these guys are, especially, and not knocking Leo Rush. He is another guy who came out of this weekend, with a tremendous amount of shine on him. Was featured in some great matches, but his match with Keith Lee, wow, unbelievable, a lot of fun. Riddle versus Severn, a current MMA style guy versus a classic MMA guy. Hi, Rocky, you behave yourself. That was certainly unique, what else? Joey Janela versus Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty, excuse me. I only had so much coffee today. I'm failing miserably here. But yeah, don't you dump my drink, Rocky. You're gonna be in trouble. That was great. That was also, some wrestle silly, but it was what it was. Was it the match of the weekend? No, but it was one of those things where they really hyped it up. Janela versus Marty Jannetty. Jannetty always keeping himself in the news somehow. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Let's see, day 4 featuring the Hardy Tailgate Party and company matches from ACW and FIP, which that was on the day of WrestleMania, which, you know, that being like a 10-hour show in itself, I did not watch anything from FloSlam from that day, so you know, at some point I'll go back and watch those, because from this documentary it looked like there were some fun highlights from there. And then just to wrap up the documentary, talking to guys like Sami Callihan, talking about how the 80s was the Hulkamania wrestling boom, 90s was the Attitude Era, and now we're in another wrestling boom. And I believe that. You know, some people are so disgusted from what they're watching in wrestling and saying that wrestling is dead. Well, then go, if you love wrestling, then go find something else to watch. There is so much wrestling that's good out there right now. Something for everyone. And this documentary showed that. You know, a little bit of something for everyone. From, like I said, from Wrestle Silly to hardcore to die-hard grappling. All over the place. Just great stuff all over FloSlam. Covering all these brands that weekend. Which it really is a first for me for WrestleMania weekend. Someone who's usually just focused on the WWE, you know, and or NXT. And this opening my eyes to so many different new brands, companies, stars, you know. And I don't think some of these guys like to be called stars, but they are, you know. You know, independent wrestling contractors, you know. But yeah, Sammy's right, you know. There is a wrestling boom, and there is something. And Paro also said, you know, there is something out there for everyone, which makes wrestling special, and it is. It really is. You know, there's haters around every corner, bashing it here and there, and it's, you know, it's up to us as wrestling fans to get out there and tell everyone how special it is. You know, it's one of the reasons why I do this. You know, I love it so, and I love talking about it. You know, telling you about it. So that's pretty much it. That documentary was a lot of fun. Just another great example of some of the stuff that's on FloSlam. And part of Evolve is Kenny Johnson's documentaries. They're so good. I always, and no matter what it is, it's always fun to see, you know, whether he's helping someone cut a promo for a rivalry, like Ethan Page coming up this next weekend against Zack Sabre Jr. for the Evolve show, and Chi-Town going for the championship, which I'm rooting on Ethan Page. He's one of my new favorites as well. Or something like this, you know, a behind-the-scenes documentary. It's tremendous stuff. So yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about how, you know, what this documentary featured. It is just another highlight on FloSlam. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, props to FloSlam, Kenny Johnson, and everyone involved. Great little piece of work, very entertaining, to show how fun and how great WrestleMania weekend was, and that it truly was it's about more than Mania. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you soon for the next one.